Hey, pal. You ready? Can you pick me up at 6:30?
I'm here.
Too late.
I'll go for 5 minutes. Move it. You're killing me. You know what, Dad? I'm good.
It may be quite a while before he's ready, but our Subaru Legacy will be waiting for him.
It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
University Subaru.
The white droid!
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends. This is it. It's the last day of the year, December 31st, 2014. Where has the year gone? It's kind of hard to believe that 365 days have gone by. And last year, 1 year ago today, we had the same guest, Hank Waters from the Columbia Daily Tribune. Good to have you here, Hank.
Paul, thank you. And it's certainly nice that we both have lasted this long.
It's true, isn't it?
I mean, you never know. When you look ahead a year, that's a long time.
Yeah, that's right. But you know, I read your column every day, Trib. You've been writing those columns for what, over 150 years now?
Seems like it, doesn't it?
But you've got an opinion on everything. You've got 365 opinions. And when it's leap year, 356 opinions, right?
Well, what is it? Is that one more day?
Yeah, that's one more day.
366.
366.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting old.
It's hard math. Huh?
But last year when you were here, we talked about what you felt, your opinion, some of the highlights of the year in news were. What are the highlights this year?
Well, there were several, of course, weren't there?
Yeah.
We've had some racial turmoil.
Yeah.
We had in Columbia during the year, we had quite a bit of discussion, arguing about downtown development.
Mm-hmm. That's arguing is still going on.
Yeah, it's still going on.
Do you think that arguing will ever come to an end?
Oh, sure, it'll evolve. I mean, the development is occurring, and most of it will occur. There was an effort to stop some of it that's not going to work, so there'll be. But the discussions, and all this time, and being involved in watching the turmoil and arguing and griping that goes on in this town, I have become a firm believer in the fact it's a good thing. I'm very sanguine about the ability, or maybe it's an accident, of the general public around here to make good decisions because so many people are interested and weigh in, say what they think. And if you're in a position of leadership and decision making, you get plenty of advice in this town.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
And the city of Columbia has changed. Now, I came here 45 years ago.
Really?
Yes, 45 years. I don't look that old, do I?
No, you don't.
But I can remember back in those days, you could get from one part of town to the other in about 10 minutes. That's not possible anymore.
Depends on where you're going, of course, which part. But you mean all the way across town.
Yeah, you could get all, don't you remember that?
Sure.
Yeah, I remember when Highway 63 was just a 2-lane blacktop road.
And that was the eastern boundary. West Boulevard was the western boundary.
Yeah.
The business loop, which is now the business loop, was then Highway 40.
That's right.
Was the northern boundary, and down south, it's about where Stadium Boulevard is now. North of the football stadium was the city limit.
Boy, we sound like old people, don't we?
We are old people.
You put it bluntly there. Okay, so we talked about some of the things that have happened in Columbia. As far as the nation, the big thing this year has been racial issues. Does that surprise you? Does it surprise you that we still have the tension that we have?
I guess not really. I mean, it's a sort of a built-in, I'd say diversity, a dichotomy of peoples where they're coming from. And I think it's better. It doesn't seem that way at certain times, but we surely are making some progress, so we have more to go.
We have a long way to go. We have a long way to go.
So I think this is probably a good, I mean, it's too bad we had to go through the episodes that got us here, but we're having a discussion now again that's a little more serious about it, which is good.
And then we touch on the gay marriage issue.
Gay marriage is
that's been a big thing.
Big revolution, and it's a fait accompli. It hasn't quite finished yet because Missouri may be the last state in the union holding out, but that's happened, and I mean it will happen. It's not quite finished.
Do you
yet.
think it's going to end up in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will make the final decision, or do you think all 50 states will finally come around?
Well, both. I mean, it's going to happen because there's too much momentum and it's too proper an issue. And I don't think we're going to deny this anymore, particularly with the momentum that the public has developed. Mm-hmm. So at a certain point, an issue becomes, as I said, a fait accompli, even though all the ratification hasn't quite occurred yet. The legal and political ratification is underway now, and it will occur. But you can see, I believe, that it's inevitable.
Yeah. When you look ahead to 2016, do you see any surprises on the horizon?
How do I know?
Well, because you're a very wise gentleman.
You just have to, I mean, what I do, and what most of us do really, is more or less wait and see what happens and react. We can't, I mean, there are things we want to happen, so all of us have opinions about what should happen, but the flow of events really is kind of an evolution of what happens. Look at the racial thing. Nobody predicted these events, and all of a sudden that issue is focused in a different way. Mm-hmm. So some of that will happen next year. It's kind of you and I should just kind of hang around and watch, and
hopefully we'll be able to hang around
and try to react, properly.
We've got a lot of politics coming up next year. Mm-hmm. You care to make any predictions there?
Well, the Democrats will do better than they did this year, but that doesn't take much predicting.
But everything goes in a cycle, doesn't it? It goes in a cycle, and it was pretty much predicted that the Democrats were going to do. It was going to happen in this midterm
election is always tough on the party that has the White House, and here we are at that period. I don't know how much of it will change, but it'll be different in 2016.
Okay, so you're not willing to go out on the limb and make any prediction on this New Year's Eve.
As to what Republicans will run for president or things like that?
Yeah, do you have any idea?
No, there are about 6 or 8 of them that are in the running. And
Hillary, do you think Hillary will
Hillary will surely, if she wants to do it, and I think she does.
Yeah.
She'll almost certainly be the Democrat.
And that'll be unique because we would go from the first black president to the first woman president in the White House. And not only that, but the first man will be a former president, and he'll be moving back into the White House.
That's very interesting. It is unusual, and Hillary, of course, is hers for the asking, as far as the Democratic nomination goes. So everybody knows that.
Yeah,
and that's the kind of I don't know what'll happen. I'm not sure she's a shoo-in by any means as for president.
We'll have to wait and see.
That's
and
right.
I'm sure you will have some thoughts on it.
I will.
All right, Hank Waters, thank you so much for coming by. I enjoy your columns every day in the Columbia Daily Tribune. I never miss them. That is true. And I pass them along to other people.
And do they read them or just throw them back at you?
They read them. They read them.
Well, thanks. You've been a good friend for a long time.
Thank you, Hank.
Happy New Year.
Same to you. Same to you. Tomorrow's Phoenix Health Programs. Our program directed by Travis McMillan, Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio is Pat Akers from KBIA. Our floor director is Lowell Thomas, but I think he wants to be called Lowell Thomas. And our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. Happy New Year.